All right, got this started up. Yeah, I just woke up to this. I have not had my coffee. I'm doing this very quickly. So as far as people are considered, how I feel about IGN, I don't know how to feel about them. IGN, I try not to care about them, and it's just a lot of stuff. The weird thing is, I've actually been avoiding anything about Black Widow so far. I only saw like the two early reactions from Real Rejects and Grace Randall. That's her name. Let me look it up because I only got 10 minutes to do this. Yeah, beyond the trailer, but technically Grace Randall is what I think her name is. So yeah, and they thought it was fine. So yeah, but that's all I know. That's just two negative reviews. In fact, I think I'm just gonna avoid all the reviews and like watch the movie by myself and judge it. Um, which means I should probably stay off of IMDb for a few days. Depending on the situation. Um, yeah, but Black Widow's coming out, and looks like IGN is back to giving the cast and crew members, depending on responding to IGN comments, which is easily the best thing about IGN. Then the pandemic happened and this stopped. But let's see the Black Widow cast respond to IGN comments. I'm not even leaving a link to IGN because they're a joke at this point in time.
Now that would be an interesting plot twist. The ribs. I wonder what whimsical tasks he will give them to do. Who's he? Oh. Oh, I see.
It's not a lot of whimsy in this movie, I would say.
I also don't think we can say, can we?
Pretty whimsy free.
97.90 again. Finally, my dope dealer, Marvel, is back to serve me with another hit. Lol. Yeah. He's on the corner selling tickets to the theater. Come on and get your dose of Marvel.
The Lord Ruler. I'm done running. Next scene, her running. That's funny.
Definitely not my like strong suit.
Running?
Yes. I really am not the most graceful runner. Like I'm really it's something I'd way rather fight somebody than have to run away from them.
Toxic Avenger 88. $5 says Taskmaster is Hawkeye. Now that would be an interesting plot twist.
$5 says Taskmaster is Hawkeye. Well.
Yeah, just hold on a second. I gotta pause here because goddamn loud cars pass. Sorry about that. Hey, what a loud car just to ruin my day.
Would take that bet or not.
Brad Powick, just to clarify, this is set after the events of Civil War, yes? Yes. Yes, Brad. Yes.
In the Moonlight says the real question is, are we finally going to learn what happened in Budapest? I'm not allowed to tell you that. It's always really fun doing these interviews because, you ask me a bunch of questions and I'm not allowed to tell you anything. We did do some shooting in Budapest, so you'd assume that we wouldn't go to Budapest and shoot in Budapest if we wanted it to double for like Detroit. I think you might learn something about Budapest.
Smitty 81, Florence Pugh is basically my wife's twin. It's very weird.
No, that's me. I am your wife.
Spectro Hypernova.
I would be honored if Florence Pugh was my wife. Although she's dating Zach Braff, so I don't want to ruin relationships. But still, I think Florence Pugh is like quickly becoming she's like one of my new favorite actresses. Like after seeing Fighting, I know people talk about Midsummer and all that. I mean, I liked Midsummer to a degree feel like she was the only thing holding it together, but just like Midsummer was like, wow, I mean, this is from the same guy who did Hereditary. I mean, and I loved Hereditary, but it's like Midsummer was like, yeah, this ain't no Hereditary. I think Hereditary was a better film. That's just me, though. I guess I just thought Hereditary was a better film, and Midsummer was like, but everyone apparently loved it. But I enjoyed it just fine, mostly just for Florence Pugh. But she was also great in Little Women. I've got to watch I think she's in the movie Outlaw King. I really want to check that movie out, as well as what else? She did a Macbeth movie, so I got to check out some more Florence Pugh stuff this week.
Nova says, okay, so this is what Jim Hopper did after being teleported to Russia.
I made that exact same joke, and the fact that, yeah, me and my friends, we made several jokes about, yeah, it's funny how there's a character in Stranger Things season 3 named Alexei, and David Harbour is playing a character in Black Widow named Alexei.
Oh my God, Spectro Hypernova. You and everyone else on the internet need to shut up. It was a random coincidence that has plagued my life for the past year and a half. Season 3, Hopper winds up in Kamchatka, Russia. He's in a prison in Russia. And then literally a month later, I sat down with Kate Shortland and she said, there's this Marvel project really want you to do. And it's a guy and he starts off in a Russian prison. I was like, what a nightmare publicity-wise, but also what a great, amazing opportunity. So there is no correlation, Spectro Hypernova. So you go tell all your other friends on the internet that is not true. Jim Hopper did not go acquire a super suit, get a Russian accent, and become the answer to Captain America in Russia.
Striker. Let's hope when this movie ends, it should say Black Widow will return in Infinity War.
I do return in Infinity War.
It should be said at the end of Black Widow.
All right.
Strider Skyro wanted.
I don't know why that's important to him, but all right.
Strider Skyro wanted.
I don't know why that's important to him, but whatever gets you in the theater. Aaron LaFountain says, I'm immediately excited for this movie now. This actress was bloody fantastic in Midsummer.
Hey, Fighting with My Family was how I found out about Florence Pugh, and she was great in that movie. Like I said, I know people love Midsummer. I liked Midsummer. It's just, come on, Fighting with My Family was a better film.
Don't worry. Yeah. I don't burn any boyfriends in this one.
Richard Steven says, post-credit scene, Black Widow is eating a jelly sandwich on wheat bread. We realize this is an alternate universe. Captain America suddenly appears carrying the Infinity Stones, and Mjolnir, he says, Nat, I need you to do things. Come with me and don't ask any questions. Fade to black. I mean, that's a great scene, man. I hope you've got a job at Marvel. I can't tell you if that's the actual scene that is the post-credit scene. I will tell you this.
I don't want to know anything.
Someone's going to eat a jelly sandwich on wheat bread in this movie.
Millipus. I only want to see this because of David Harbour and Florence Pugh. Sorry, Scarlett.
I'm used to it.
I want to see it because of all of them.
I'm used to it.
Sunset Grind says, I'm sorry, guys. I'm paying for it on Disney+. You don't have to apologize for that, Sunset. I'm okay with that. We're all okay with that. You don't have to apologize for it. Just sit down in front of your Disney+, hit that button, and go watch it.
And pay an additional $30.
Do what you gotta do.
And if you like that video, why not check out the cast of Mortal Kombat responding to your IGN comments, and we've also got Maggie Robinson, aka Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, doing it too.
Yeah, essentially the only good thing that, like I mentioned, this is the only good thing IGN has going for themselves right now. Again, with Watch Mojo reminding me that Jared existed. Why, Watch Mojo? This is why nobody likes you anymore. Come to end a perfectly goddamn good thing. Well, we've exceeded 10 minutes, I assume, because the watch is about to beep, but, oh, hold on. Yeah, the watch is about to beep. I'm just gonna do some quick researching now. You know, all the comments, David Harbour, Florence Pugh. From what I've been hearing, and I've only read like the initial reactions, not the reviews. Um, I practically neuralized myself from the reviews, if I'm not mistaken. All I know is that it was at 84, 85, 80. It's 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes because I read it through IMDb on the related news page on Scarlett Johansson's IMDb page. But yeah, that's all I know. Thankfully, I have not seen any other reviews. I don't want to see the reviews from anyone else on the internet. I feel like I know people from the internet are like my favorite internet critics, even Chris Stuckman, who I respect, are probably not going to enjoy it. But hey, none of them enjoyed Solo, and I enjoyed Solo, a Star Wars story. So that does a lot about me. But it's kind of the thing. It's like I like to differentiate my opinions from even the people I like. Maybe Richard Roper's review. I'm looking. I want to see if Richard Roper just reviewed it. Uh, yeah. It's interesting about David Harbour though, because I do know he's done a few movies before Stranger Things. Because Stranger Things is where everyone discovered David Harbour, and he's been in the business since 1999. Interesting. So okay, he was in the movie Kinsey, which is the biographical drama film uh on Alfred Charles Kinsey, who was the Liam Neeson movie. So he played Robert Kinsey. Hold on. Alfred Charles Kinsey. Personal life. I wonder who the hell is Robert Kinsey. I don't know. Maybe because if it's biopic, then of course there's a few liberties taken. Oh, he had a small role in the Spielberg War of the Worlds. He was also in Brokeback Mountain as probably another one of um. Man, I have not seen Brokeback Mountain in a while. Yeah, Revolutionary Road. Um, yeah, that one is another good one. Quantum of Solace. Obviously, he had that small role in Quantum of Solace, and I remember watching that. I was like, "Wait, is that David Harbour?" And lo and behold, it is. I was like, "Oh shit!" But Quantum of Solace, I don't think is a good movie. It's, in my opinion, not my favorite one. What's interesting is, Daniel Craig is obviously married to Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz and David Harbour are in this movie, are in Black Widow. David Harbour was in Quantum of Solace, which starred Daniel Craig. Let's see. State of Play, The Green Hornet, not a good movie. And so I'm looking at Stranger Things. End of Watch, uh, Parkland. Do I know that? Okay, Parkland is the movie that revolves around JFK stuff. A Walk Among the Tombstones, The Equalizer as well, using the first Equalizer movie, Black Mass as well, and then he was also in Suicide Squad, which not good. Hopefully, we'll get the Ayer cut, but I want to see James Gunn's version first, and then yeah, and then Stranger Things 2016 is how he got very famous more recently. In fact, yeah, supporting roles, and then after that, um, yeah, and then was Sleepless, not a good movie in my opinion. Then Hellboy, awful. But now he's Extraction and No Son to Move, good movies, and Black Widow now. Okay. Um, yeah. Although Hellboy wasn't his fault, that was really kind of like, kind of like Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola just wanted something that wasn't from Del Toro. Even though the Del Toro movies were far better, to think Hellboy 3 was canceled because of a Hellboy reboot that wasn't even good, and from what I know, had studio interference, and then Florence Pugh. Yeah, everyone is kind of like. I remember one time she responded to someone who I think either questioned or criticized the age gap because, of course, she's dating Zach Braff, and she was like, "It's none of your goddamn business," and it's like that's probably what I would have said as well. You know, 1996. Wow, who knows if it doesn't work? Florence Pugh, I'm available. Okay, so started in 2014. The following Lady Macbeth, The Commuter, Outlaw King, of course. I remember that movie. And then she was Paige in Fighting with My Family. The movie based off of Paige. Then Midsummer, Little Women. Oh yeah, then they did the short. Then she did the short film Father of the Bride Part 3. If I remember. And she's doing this. Her next movie is Don't Worry, Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde. That's awesome right there. I can't wait to see that because Olivia Wilde, very great actress, also a really great director. I saw the movie Booksmart. It was one of my favorite movies of 2019. And from what I see, Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Olivia Wilde has a role, and Gemma Chan, Kiki Lane, Nick Kroll. It's interesting. Oh, and it's also shot by Matthew Lee Boutique. Matthew Lee Boutique is like one of my all-time favorite cinematographers. Yeah, wait, what was this? Oh yeah, Father of the Bride, the short film. I remember that. They released a short film that's sort of the closest thing we'll ever get to see to a Father of the Bride Part 3. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Megan Banks. The older version of Megan Banks. The daughter, Georgia and Nina's daughter, who was born in Part 2. But yeah, I'm really excited to see her as Yelena Belova, and from what I heard, she is like the show stealer. I hear like everyone's great, but she is like the main reason to go see the movie, and that's why I love Florence Pugh a lot. She's a really great actress. I also really like her, and it looks like she's gonna reprise her role in Hawkeye, so that's interesting, and that's probably why they're releasing it in theaters and on Disney Plus, because Disney's like at this point, un- like impatient and it's like, let's just release it. And plus, she's gonna be in Hawkeye, and if we keep delaying, it's just gonna be, yeah. I will say the only problem I have with Black Widow is I would have rather put it set to the events in between Infinity War and Endgame. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but that's." I get that, but I would have had it a year after Infinity War. The world's like still small enough. There's like still a few people though. Although I understand why you wouldn't have to set it there. It's because of. I feel like it would have been better for that way it could lead into her ultimate sacrifice in Endgame. And then we cap it off with the swan song. And then, yeah, and I mean, I agree with most people. We should have gotten this movie a little earlier. At this point, I'm like, better late than ever. Because it was because of like Perlmutter, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Perlmutter. It was because of Ike Perlmutter that we could never get a Black Widow movie. Yeah. Here's why it took so long from Collider. Um, Here are the likely reasons it's arriving now. So what happened? So yeah. Oh, hold on. My dogs are gonna be showing up here. Sorry, I had my dogs show up here. So let's see here. All right, here it is. Marvel Studios head was reportedly asked why it took so long. It took until 2014 and Marvel said that they were even considering a spinoff. Keep in mind, this was in 2014. Originally committed. So what changed? What happened after 2016? The likely culprit is the dissolution of the Marvel Studios. Yep, because, oh, for Christ's sake, I'm just going to mute here. Sorry. I know I was saying something. All right, here it is. I hate when we get ads. I'm sorry about this ad, too. My VP. The likely culprit is the dissolution of the Marvel Studios Creative Committee. The Creative Committee, they're the main reason Edgar Wright did not direct Ant-Man. Up until then, Marvel movies produced by Entertainment CEO Ike Perlmutter. October 2015, Feige was able to work a restructuring that gave him the creative freedom to report directly to Disney studio chief Alan Horn. Perlmutter still had say over Marvel's slate of TV series, which creative control. But the movies belonged to Feige. The studio were quickly moved to green light. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. It's just my mom's doing some stuff. All right. Yeah, because okay, so like ever since the dissolution of the creative committee and like Perlmutter, they were able to do Black Panther and Captain Marvel, and they were big hits by January. All right, here it is. But why did taking and giving it to Feige change things? For that, you'd have to look at Perlmutter's opinions on female superheroes and female fans. In 2015, one of the Sony emails exchanged between Perlmutter and former Sony Pictures executive Michael Lynton, where Perlmutter rattled off a bunch of female-led superhero movies that flopped: Electra, Catwoman, and Supergirl. Setting aside the fact that there were a bunch of male-led superheroes that also flopped, Perlmutter seemed to be laboring under the belief that there was no audience for superhero movie that led by a female character. Yeah, Perlmutter also reportedly had retrograde opinions about merchandise. Perlmutter's making the decision to scale back production of Black Widow themed merchandise in 2015 because he believed girls' superhero products wouldn't sell. Perlmutter. I'm still talking about Perlmutter. It seems like the roadblock to a Black Widow movie and why we didn't, because Perlmutter, as the final word on which projects shift. So that's the reason why, because Ike Perlmutter didn't want it to be made. And I feel like a lot of the reviews for the movie, shit, I haven't been on the page for so long that, yeah. I feel like everyone who's bashing who's like, it's because Marvel doesn't care about us. Like, Jeremy, not everyone is well versed, but me who spends probably way too much time and rattles off too much useless information, like, there are people who keep, like, Renegade Media Group, for example, say that because Scarlett Johansson got pregnant after the first Avengers, which is not technically true. She was pregnant during the filming of Age of Ultron. but I'm not gonna. It's because, yeah, Ike Perlmutter, was the main reason why. I think just a lot of things. It's like I feel like people they just don't really give credit. I feel like people they do not care what goes on behind the scenes. They only cares what's on the scenes rather than behind them. And knowing of some of the yeah, people only really only started noticing studio interference when Warner Brothers did it with Zack Snyder. And for Zack Snyder, it's reasonable. Why? Because from what I know, during production of Man of Steel, Chris Nolan was heavily involved. And told Zack Snyder, don't listen to anyone else. Listen to me. This is how you create a better Superman movie. Don't listen to Jeff Johns or anything. And then by production of Batman v Superman, as Nolan was busy on other projects, he could not have enough creative control on it. Is like they'll do this, do that, do this, do that. So Snyder was taking studio notes, and then yeah, but it only seems to benefit. Yeah, but it's like I'm not saying anything. For example, I'm one of the many who loved the Snyder cut. I loved the Snyder cut. I think it's the return to form for Zack Snyder. And you know, I'm just saying, it's like yeah, the point is people really don't care. Like I feel like people who are giving the movie negative reviews saying it's too little too late is like and I know I'm going to get so much hate for saying this, but it's like, well, maybe you should put yourself in the heads of the studio. You should look at what happened behind the scenes. All right? Ike Perlmutter is the reason why. All right? Same reason, Tom Rothman, for example. Tom Rothman ruined a lot of movies at Fox. He cut down Kingdom of Heaven from its original 3 hour running time and condensed it to nearly 2 hours, to almost a little over 2 hours. All right, fine. I'm gonna literally. Um, Rothman. Tom Rothman was the reason why Deadpool had his mouth, if you even call that thing Deadpool, had his mouth sewn shut in X-Men Origins. Look, all right, look. He made a lot of dumb decisions that cost his businesses millions of dollars. Despite significant interest from fans, he refused to greenlight a Deadpool movie because he didn't get along with Ryan Reynolds. He made Galactus a giant in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, giant cloud, because he thought his original design was too silly. The reason why the Sentinels don't appear in the early X-Men films was thought that giant robots would make money. He was the one who decided to have Wade Wilson's mouth sewn shut in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He also passed on Ted. He demanded that Aliens vs. Predator be cut to PG-13 and take place on Earth. He rejected a potential Alien 5, which would have had Ridley Scott directing and James Cameron writing and producing. I don't know. After seeing Alien Covenant, I think maybe mandated that Daredevil be cut 30 minutes shorter so there can be more showings in theaters and wanted more CGI so it would be like Spider-Man. Slashed the budget and ordered rewrites on Elektra. Not hiring Bryan Singer to direct X-Men The Last Stand, although, yeah, I don't want Bryan Singer. He wanted The Last Stand to be released before Superman Returns as retaliation for Singer leaving, even though it was Rothman's fault for not having him on the film in the first place. Rushed the entire production of the 2001 Planet of the Apes reboot and ordered rewrites as the sets were being built. The list goes on and frickin' on. Look, he's known for clashing with directors and producers on creative decisions. He wanted to intervene on the production of Passengers. He had many arguments with director Gavin Hood on X-Men Origins. Rothman even went as far to make changes without Hood's knowledge, caused Stephen Norrington to lose his love of filmmaking and retire after Rothman's meddling on League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Neil Blomkamp said that his live-action Halo movie was not made because Rothman hated him and didn't like the direction the film was going. Alex Proyas, director of Europa, almost gave up filmmaking because of him. Rejected Peyton Reed's idea of a Fantastic Four movie that was way more faithful to the source material than what was eventually released. didn't let Matthew Kasovitz make his version of Babylon AD, and sent lawyers regarding budget concerns. He also edited the film out of Kasovitz's hands during post-production. That included cutting the runtime for there to be more showings in movie theaters. He wanted the first X-Men film to fail. Fant Four Stick. The only reason why he greenlit Fant Four Stick was to keep the film rights from Marvel. What's worse is that the film was being made just before the film rights would revert to Marvel, had they not made another film. He did the same with the film rights to Dragon Ball Evolution, even though he didn't think Avatar Titanic would make a lot of money. Yeah. Tom Rothman is like Ike Perlmutter. Tom Rothman and Ike Perlmutter. But mostly Ike Perlmutter. I feel like people, in many ways, are so oblivious, even some of my favorite critics are so oblivious sometimes to what happens behind the scenes. I always go back to the scene from Chef. Which is easily my favorite scene in the movie, so viewer discretion is advised. I hope I don't get in trouble with Universal for this.
He's eating the chocolate lava cake right now.
You just keep him right where the fuck he is.
What?
I'm parking the car.
Carl, what?
Don't let him leave. Keep the motherfucker there.
Stop it for a second. I've been waiting to talk to this prick for a long time. Okay. I am not cloying. I am not needy. I don't care what you think. You're not getting me. I'm not needy.
Jon Favreau after Iron Man 2. Technically, every director wishes they could talk like this in front of their most harshest critics.
Chocolate lava cake is not just undercooked chocolate cake. That's not what makes the center molten. You take a frozen cylinder of ganache and you set it in the ramekin so that as the outside cooks fully, the inside becomes molten. Okay. It's fucking molten, see? It's fucking molten, you asshole. And you don't do anything. What do? You sit and you eat and you vomit those words back to make people laugh. You know how hard I work for this shit? Do you know how my whole staff works?
Yeah.
What sacrifices make to make you happy, and then you just smugly just fucking shit on my shit? Okay. It hurts.
Yes.
It fucking hurts when you write that shit. It hurt you.
It does. It does.
He thought you were gonna close his fucking restaurant down. You asshole. And what do? You just write shit you just make shit up. My shit was molten. It's fucking molten. Asshole. You're not getting to me.
Okay.
You're not getting to me.
Okay, Carl.
Yeah, essentially that's everyone. I know what people are going to say as well. That I am biased because I like almost everything from Marvel. Not true. I despised Iron Man 3. It is, in my opinion, the worst film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because I went into it with so much anticipation, and it was like, that was the one time I feel like Marvel was like, ha, screw you guys, we're doing our version. To sum up Iron Man 3, it is subversion just for subversion's sake. It's kind of like the same problems I have with Star Wars The Last Jedi. It is like treating everything that was set up as a joke. And it's not funny. Not to me. Thor the Dark World was okay, but you could tell that something was going on. From what I hear, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes drama going on in the movie. In fact, that's why Alan Taylor, has kind of decided to stray away from making big films. Like, because after Terminator Genesis, he was like, okay, I gotta, go back to the small screen, I gotta go back to basics. So, yeah. But the thing is, the difference between Marvel and Star Wars is Marvel actually cares about us. Unlike Kathleen Kennedy, who's like, there's no source material. There's nothing. Kathleen Kennedy is the woman who ruined Last Jedi, which then proceeded to Rise of Skywalker, and then the rest, as they say, is history. But, you know, I hope, I know people want Filoni and Favreau to run it. I actually want Kevin Feige to also run Star Wars, because I know he's working on a Star Wars movie. And I also know that Michael Waldron, the creator of Loki, is also writing the movie, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm biased, but I'm going to watch Black Widow. I know I'm personally going to love it more than most people. Maybe I've realized that every Marvel movie is just going to be divisive, and there's no way people are going to agree. In the end, we're still going to be paid by Disney at the end. So, I'll leave a link to the original video down below. Maybe a link to the scene from Chef. I don't know. I'd rather leave a link to that than a link to IGN. And a link to my Instagram. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. Godspeed, everyone. Have a great morning.